In this video, I want to talk about where are the best locations to start your own residential assisted living facility or behavioral health facilities. So if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What is going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. If you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on most streaming platforms. Also, feel free to go check out Legion Assisted Living Academy, the Facebook group. That is for free to join. There are just over 3,400 members in the Facebook group. Also, feel free to check out legionassistedlivingacademy.com, where I teach how to start your own facility from A to Z. Also, you can book a one-on-one mentorship call with myself on legionassistedlivingacademy.com or in the description below. Also, for the individuals who want to actually have some more guidance from myself, I do have a Patreon account that you can actually go join. That will be in the link in the description as well. I do have quite a bit of things that I do on Patreon now for the members that join on a subscription basis, so feel free to check that out. Also, check out valleyalfventures.com and check us out on Instagram at valleyalfventures as well. And if you are a limited partner looking to invest passively in this niche, feel free to check us out. Also, if you're an operator looking to either expand or sell your facility, feel free to check out valleyalfventures.com. Also, for individuals who are looking to place their loved ones in the Phoenix metro area, we at Valley ALF Ventures are now offering placement. So if you know anybody or know of anyone that needs this service, feel free to check us out and fill out the form there on our site. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Where are the best places to essentially start your facility? And this is a question that I do get pretty often. And there are a couple variables to consider when actually figuring out where to start your facility and what to do. Now, the first thing that I want to touch on is the Sun Belt states, meaning these are states that are pretty sunny year round. So oftentimes these are states like Arizona, California, Texas, potentially, Florida. All the southern states are typically year round pretty sunny. So they're called the Sun Belt states. And the reason why these states overall have the best potential is because of all the individuals who go to retire because of the weather. And so there's a couple other things to factor in. Now, certain states only allow for a certain amount of beds to get licensed in a residential setting. For instance, California, in a residential setting, they will only allow you up to 6. Florida as well, in a residential setting with residential zoning, only allows for 6. Now you got states like Texas that allow you to be able to get licensed up to 16 beds in a residential setting. And then you have the states like Arizona, where you can actually get licensed up to 10 beds. And there's even times where you can actually propose a special accommodation to be able to get even more beds licensed, depending on how big of a home you actually have available. Now, with all that being said, those two things play a huge factor in if your assisted living is going to ultimately do really well. I'm not saying that these are the only states that they do really well in. There's states like Oregon, Washington, Georgia, other states that this business model actually works really well. But overall, though, the best states, I would say, are those ones. Simply because of the fact that so many more retirees go there, and you also have snowbirds, quote unquote. That's what we call them in Arizona, is because they have a location here during the winter, and then in the summer they go up north, maybe Colorado, Utah, other places like that. And so with that, you have to really consider where you want to start and where you are ultimately able to start, right? Not everybody can just up and move and go start a business like this out of the blue, right? They can't just leave everything behind. But in most cases, you want to factor this in when you are looking to start your facility. Now, the third thing that you want to factor in is look within your area and see what the ultimate median income in your area is. Typically, you want to see and want to start your facility in an area that's going to ultimately be above the median income. So here in the United States, the median income, I believe, fluctuates between like 56,000, sometimes it's 54,000, depending on the year, but typically it's 56,000. Now, I always tell individuals, try to start your facility in an area where their median income is above $75,000. Given the current climate that we're in economically, it's a little harder now for people to afford healthcare, but people will cut costs elsewhere in order to make sure that their loved ones are getting the best care possible, or being in the best facilities possible, and really ultimately making them comfortable and making sure that's an enjoyable experience, especially given that it's typically on their last leg of life. And so with that, families will cut costs where they need to in order for their loved one to be in a great facility. And so most individuals who are making above the median income and even higher than that, so typically what I tell people is 75 to 150,000 is what you want that range to be in a given zip code, in a given area of where you're looking to start your facility. And that's going to play a huge factor, because if you can't charge the rates that you need to charge, and then also factor in inflation and increasing those rates over time, ultimately your business is going to suffer, and it's not going to do as well even in the long term if you can't continue to keep with inflation and also increase those rates. So you want to ultimately run a pro forma on your facility and how many beds you can get ultimately licensed for, depending on the size of your home, and then really factor this all in. And so if the numbers don't pencil out based off of what you need to charge at a minimum rate, you are probably going to have to figure out a different place to start your facility. Another thing I like to point out too is also, what is the saturation of that certain zip code or area that you're looking to start? How many different residential care homes or group homes are in that area? Oftentimes I tell people, do not try to start something that has more than 10 to 15 care homes within a certain zip code or a certain radius, like 10 to 15 minute radius of where you're trying to start, because that is oversaturation. And if one individual within that radius decides to undercut everybody else and bring the rates down, you ultimately are forced to do the same as well, because most families will just continue to go to the cheaper individual. Maybe the quality of care isn't going to be there. And I'm speaking in very generality. I know most people will say, well, that's not the case. I can charge more because my home is better, I have better staff, etc. Yes, there are those types of exceptions and those types of scenarios, but that's not always the case. Typically what you'll see is one care homeowner who starts off right, comes in, undercuts the other ones so they can get residents in their facility, and then that forces other facilities to have to come down to that rate in order to fill their beds. And so now instead of charging $4,500, they're charging $3,500. And so you have to really keep that in mind when you're in a saturated area. But typically, if you can keep it under that 15 amount, and be in that area and still be able to provide something different, something special, then you're probably going to do pretty well for the most part. Another thing, a little bonus tip for a lot of you individuals out there that I think this will benefit, is try to create your own niche within this space. Meaning, do you want to serve people with Parkinson's? Do you want to serve people with dementia? Do you want to serve people with Alzheimer's, and you specialize in that specialty? Or do you want to only serve veterans? Do you want to only do a certain clientele, right? And that may narrow down your pool of individuals that you'll place in your home, but any family and any placement agent, any hospice, any case manager, anybody who is able to send you referrals will know you as that individual who specializes in that specific niche, with that specific diagnosis, right? They come across a family who their loved one is diagnosed with Parkinson's and has an extreme version of Parkinson's. They will say, go to this individual because they specialize specifically in this. Their staff is all trained in this. All the individuals there are with Parkinson's, or Alzheimer's or dementia, whatever the case may be, and you're typically able to charge a higher rate. And so with that being said, I hope that you guys all enjoyed this video. Make sure again to check out Legion Assisted Living Academy, the Facebook group, also legionassistedlivingacademy.com. Feel free to book a one-on-one mentorship call if you need to. Also, feel free to check out the Patreon. Again, it's $10 to be able to join the subscription basis, and I coordinate with you guys individually one-on-one. I put, ad-free videos on there. I analyze any of the deals that you guys may be looking at, discuss any of the deals that I'm currently working on, and I do live videos once a week on there as well, not just on my channel, and it is ad-free, and I'm able to communicate directly with you guys. So make sure to check that out. It is only $10 a month. And also feel free to check out valleyalfventures.com if you're a limited partner, or if you're an operator looking to expand or sell your facility, or if you're looking for a loved one and in the Phoenix metro area, we can help with that as well. And so with all that being said, thank you again, and I will talk to you all in the next one.